What do I think about when I'm racing and how do I maintain my form after mile 10? That's a good question. When I race, my thoughts kind of evolve as the miles go by. So before the race, I typically listen to some music, I visualize the race, and I get mentally ready. And I try to visualize and see in my mind the race unfold the way I want it to. And then once race starts, it's really just about control. I try to stay relaxed. I monitor my pace. I check in with how I feel, my perceived exertion, and I do some quick form checks. Again, making sure I'm relaxed, making sure I have good form in the discipline I'm doing, whether that's a swim, a bike, or a run. And then I also think about my fueling plan and when I'm training for or when I'm racing a long distance Ironman, a 70.3 or an ultra run or even a marathon, I'm aiming for about 250 to 350 calories per hour, about 60 to 90 grams of carbs. So I'm making sure I'm getting that fuel in each hour. I'm thinking about that. And also my hydration, getting in my electrolytes, making sure I'm drinking a 3/4 to a full bottle of water each hour. And then around mile 10, I guess if everything's clicking, I'm kind of in a flow state where everything feels right, it's smooth, strong, and efficient. Um, it's going good. I just continue to go over that checklist. But as fatigue starts to creep in, it's really when the mental game starts to begin, and I remind myself of my mantras. Just out there chopping wood, doing the work. I'm strong. I'm capable. I'll start running through some of those mantras in my head to help me stay strong through that fatigue. And really, endurance racing teaches us the true meaning of the word endurance, right? The ability to push through discomfort without giving in. And there's always moments when doubt creeps in. For example, if one of my muscles feels tight, I need to redirect my focus. I need to reframe it and go, okay, but my glutes and my quads, they feel great. Keep pushing forward. So I'll think about that when doubt starts to creep in. And then thinking about races where I've ran through hail, cold rain, or just totally exhausted through total exhaustion. I remember in 150 mile or ultra run, it was hailing, it's terrible weather, and I looked up in the middle of the storm and just told myself, this is amazing. I'm running through these crazy elements and I'm capable and able of doing this. And that shift in mindset from suffering to gratitude, it can really change everything and keep that positive focus on moving forward. And then in endurance events, you do them long enough, you might get to this dark place. It's a really dark place where you feel like quitting, where that exhaustion, that fatigue set in. And then I need to remind myself that if I stop, that's going to be far more disappointing for me than if I finish at a slower pace than planned. So you can think about when you're just in a dark place and maybe you're not going to reach those goals. But the goal is to finish. And if I don't finish, I'm going to be disappointed more in myself than if I go a bit slower and work through it. So I'm really just doing the best that I can in the moment and working through it and trying to continue to push forward. I experienced that in my last Ironman. I got to a pretty exhausted, tough place. I was really struggling, really through mile 15 to the end. But at mile 20, out of nowhere, there was this little girl cheering on all the athletes. She must have been out there for her mom or her dad. And we all had our names on our race bibs. And she's like, Joseph, you're amazing. You're going to finish this, with a big smile on her face. And it really just kind of got me up and going in that moment. I didn't really feel amazing, but I believed her and I thought about, oh yeah, we're all out here. We're doing something amazing. This is endurance, right? I'm out here doing something that's impossible for a lot of people, and I just need to keep pushing forward, whether that means walking and running, just fighting and getting to that finish line. So some races go perfectly, right? I've had great races where everything clicks, and then others just completely fall apart. That's part of endurance, especially if you do it for many years like I have. But every single finish line, it brings a sense of pride because you don't give up, and I really do feel that the hardest races always seem to be the most meaningful. They demand the most of me, and in return, they really reveal more of who I am, not only as an endurance athlete, but as a person. And it really sometimes just takes a lot of fight to get through that and fight for the finish. So those are things I think about that help me endure and finish strong at the end.